Hello, this is Charlie at My Messy Fingers. I am back again with the next page build for Ciao Bella's Winter Journey album. This is being made for Scrap and Create. This will be page 5. So in your album, this was page 4. We are now working on page 5. This is kind of how it's going to come together. I need a magnet. This piece is going to be your top piece. This is going to be your next page. And on this piece of paper, there were little rabbits running across the bottom, but I really wanted this to be the outstanding image, so I trimmed this to cut. I fussy cut this owl out, and I placed some chipboard pieces on the back so that the owl would stand off the page a little bit. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I think it does add a different depth to the page. And then when we get in here, we are going to have on this page, we're going to have a big pocket, and I cut this deer out, mounted it on chipboard, and he'll kind of go like right there. And then over here, we're going to have a double layer pocket. I pulled this piece out of my scrap. It looks like tread marks, tire marks. I'm not real happy with that. You might be. But what I thought I would do is place a piece over it, and it frameworks beautifully, and then this ties into the wood grain on the left-hand page. And then there is going to be a little card cutout that's going to kind of sit in here like this. And then down here, I cut out this tag, and that will be the on the bottom left, and we're going to do this as a tuck. So you can put papers in here, you can do it as a tuck. You'll have plenty of photo opportunities here. So let's get into the measurements of each one of these so that you'll know what to cut. This piece here is, why is that measuring 10? I think that's a bit wide, folks. So let's get in here. I want about a 1/4 inch off the fold. Oh my goodness sakes, I did not trim that right. I got a bit ahead of myself. So I'm just going to kind of pencil mark here. And then I'm going to trim that down before I do anything further. I want to kind of sneak up to this edge right here and make sure I've got at least a 1/4 inch over here. So with my walnut stain distress ink, we're going to get rid of the white on the edge here. Okay. All right, so much better. So that means this piece ended up measuring 9 3/8 across by 9 7/8 tall. I like to build up rather than build and then come into the center. So the first thing that we're going to lay in place will be this large side pocket over here. So let's get us some tape. Oh my goodness. Tape wrapped itself around my tools. Come across the bottom. hope you're having a good day. And I hope you are enjoying this build. I am just a little bit different of a album designer. Not by much, but I like to do different things with them. I like to play with the elements. I like to cut things out like that owl and raise them so that there's some depth. You're just not looking at flat pages. We're going to tack this down, line this up with the edge, and then we're going to burnish. Now this piece will go down first. No, I don't want to do that yet. I do not want to do that yet. And what I want to do is get these other pieces in so I can set the magnet. So the first thing we're going to do is grab some 3/8 inch tape. This piece out of my scraps measured about 3 1/8. You will cut a piece of cardstock that's going to measure 8 3/4 by 9 7/8, which is the height of your base page. You're then going to come in and you're going to score it at 1/2 and you're going to score it at 5/8. And then we're going to run our tape on the 1/2 inch side. And we're going to burnish. Okay, make sure it's going to lay correctly. I like to turn it over. And when you're coming up to a 5/8 score gusset like that, I'm going to come right up to the score line that's the closest to the tape. I'm going to stand this tall, make sure everything is going into place as it should, and then I'm going to lay this down. Whoops, I just popped it out of place. Stand this up, make sure it's even, and then I'm going to lay it down. Burnish. And then we want to push back on this score line. Make sure that we've got a nice good crease on that because we want this to stand up so that you've got a nice little gusset right here, so that as you start filling in the pockets on both sides, that you've got some room for those papers to take up the room. Now this piece, we're going to do the same thing. This piece ended up measuring 6 5/8 by 6. And then you're going to come in and you're going to score it at 1/2, and then you're going to score it at 5/8. Using the 3/8 inch tape. Oh, I forgot to put my fingertip on. We're going to put the tape on there. And then I want to make sure that my gusset on this is standing tall. And I'm going to measure top to bottom to make sure that this is as centered as it can be. So I'm at 1 7/8 there, and I'm at 1 3/4 there. So I think I want to come this way just a smidge. It doesn't have to be very much. In fact, I could have just left it 1 7/8. We're still at 1 3/4. I'm not moving that much. Okay. All right. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to turn it over, take the tape off. And I'm once again going to come right up to that score line, the closest to the tape. Put that down. And then I'm going to bend this back. Give this a good score. And then stand that up. So now my magnets. Come on, guy. Come off there. I want this to be just about there, so there's plenty of room for the paper. Put that down. Smash it in good. There we go. All right, so that's your build. Now let's get some of the papers now added. I am going to glue this down. Come on. I made the grave mistake of leaving this open yesterday for an extended period of time, and the glue dried. There we go. And make some pretty little squiggly lines. I can't draw a straight line of glue if I could, if I tried any harder. Doesn't matter, it's going to get smushed when it gets in here. All right. We're going to put that down. We're going to burnish really good. And now I'm going to add this piece. And again, these are from my scraps. I try to go there. Paper waste kind of drives me crazy. So I'm always trying to build and develop using my scraps. Also helps with the amount of paper you have to have. Okay, now this is going to just get centered, so I'm just going to glue the entire back. And we're going to center. I think this actually looks quite pretty. These tire tracks, they're muted down just a little bit, and I like that. By themselves, they're just too much. Okay, so this is going to sit in here about here. I'm going to pinch it right here so that I know where my glue line needs to stop. And then I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to center as best I can. I want to be about 3/8 of an inch off this edge. Push it down. Make sure I didn't get any glue up underneath this. Nope. All right. Now, while we have this turned over, you have these two duplicates in your collection. I want you to cut out both, ink your edges. One of these is going to come to the back side. And this is where a beautiful opportunity, you've got the lines here to do some journaling. Tell the story. because if this passes down through the family, the more information you give them, the more enjoyable that album is going to be for the recipients. And then we're going to just kind of lay this in here. Burnish. And then I'm going to turn this over, and then we're going to do the reverse side. I think this is a beautiful piece on the back. I hate covering it up, but I need this side. Okay, so that's perfect. Now on this side we have your wood grain. Because of the large size on this, I am going to tape it down. I think I've said in past videos that by the time I get glue around this thing, the glue where I first started is already dried, and then I can't get it on the paper because I've got to go back and re-glue, and then I run into where the other side now is too dry. So on big pieces, I use tape. There's some beautiful cutouts on the back side of this, but there's so many in this collection. It's almost like every other page. You've got beautiful embellishments to cut out. So we need the back side, the pattern side, a little bit more. And then I think I'm just going to run one piece diagonal so that this stays down on the cardstock. Give her the old good burnish. Okay. Now I'm going to come right up to the edge, balance it top and bottom, and you want to make sure that you're just a hair to the side of your score line. Okay, and burnish. And then we're going to put in this pocket. And come just down at the bottom, following the paper edge so that we don't encroach on that score line. And then this piece here. That was, I think, the back side of that. But we're going to use this here. Again, this was from scraps after I cut one of these pages. I think I've used it more than once in the album already. Okay. And we got this cute little saying down here, Winter Adventure. And then this guy, I want to center him right here where this brass button is. Now, I don't have any brass buttons, but if you put a button here to stay with the theme, you might put a silver one there, because if you've used the silver accents that were supplied, then you'd want that to be silver. But if you did not use any of these little embellishments or silver things that she sent, then go ahead and I would put a brass button right there. I think that would look really cool. Just some different things that I would do. Okay, we're going to come in here, right there. Burnish, I want to lift this a little bit, make sure I don't have glue on the back side. Perfect. Now, to finish the inside, we are going to run tape down the left side and across the bottom so that you have a little tuck for those little things, or a photo you really want to be able to take out again and again, or a note. Maybe someone inspired you and sent something that you really love. You can use it in here. Tuck it down. Coming in about 1/4 of an inch, top and bottom. We're going to put it in. It looks like he's looking back through the trees. Okay, now the front. Like I said, I came in here and I fussy cut with my craft knife. I cut this out. Now, you don't have to do that. It takes a little bit of work, but I think the end result is worth it, because then it actually makes the owl look like he is truly flying, because you've lifted him up off this page. Now, as he goes and he sits in here, as you move this page, you're going to see these edges. So what I came in and did, and I didn't finish it. Yeah, I did. I kind of inked it a little bit, just take that white starkness away. Now, unavoidable, and I should have looked at it, we're going to have a magnet there. But the owl's head is going to cover that. The owl's head is making this too thick. What to do? Oh, I know what to do. Let's put, because it's unavoidable, better. So what I did was I just took a small magnet and I put it on top, because owls lifted anyway, and that helped to give it a little bit more draw to the magnet that's under here. Because of this chipboard, I did not anticipate for the additional layering. My bad. Okay, now I am going to tape around the outside edges, but I'm going to come and run a bead of glue here to hold this section down so it's not lifting or moving. So now, if you did not fussy cut the owl out, you should not have a problem with magnet placement. I should have tested that before I put that down. If nothing else, my mistakes are some learning for you as to what not to do. Okay. All right, now I'm going to come in here and kind of follow this outline a little bit. Okay. And what I'm going to do is seat it in first, because I can come up underneath and sneak in and take that tape out, but I want this, I don't want to be getting glue all over the place. Okay. Burnish this in. Give that another good burnish. And now this little guy right here is going to slide right in here, and I'm going to use glue on the back side. Get it here. Not going to do any good to put it on the lower pieces, so I'm just going to put it on the upper pieces, the upper layer. And then gently put it in place and press just where I put that glue. And there is your flying owl. And that closes. Now we'll go to the back side with some nice wide 5/8 inch tape. Okay, 3/8 here and 3/8 there. Give it the good old burnish, get that tape down, get rid of my air pockets that I can see. There's one. Okay, now we're going to come in here and we're going to place it in. So I'm going to take these center pieces off, and I'm going to come in here, make sure it's level. Oops, I see extra tape hanging there. I'm going to trim it real quick. I'm going to make sure it's level top to bottom, and I'm sneaking right up to the edge. And I'm just going to kind of lay it down. Now we're going to sneak in here and take the tape off. Last piece. Make sure that's burnished in there. Really good. And that, my friends, is the finish of page 5. Come back to view page 6. And thank you for watching.